Hello, my name's Chris Gunn, and once again, this is my channel, Chris Gunn's Bourbon Barrel Creations. So it's February the 8th, and it's been a really good day. Today was a single barrel drop down at 13th Colony, so that's what I'm going to talk about today. I don't think anybody who's listened to me talk on any of these videos before where I talk about 13th Colony, doubts my love for 13th Colony as an organization. Now, once again, I know that there's been there's been some consternation out there as far as 13th Colony, and once again, I'm not going to speculate on that. I'm not even going to comment on it. What I will comment on is how they treat me every time I go down there. So, to back up a little bit, 13th Colony has what they call the 13th Colony Insiders newsletter, and so it's anybody can ask to have it sent to them, and so periodically they'll send out information from the distillery, and they'll let you know of things that are going to go on with them. When they're going to do drops down at the distillery, or when they're going to release a certain thing or not. And so one of the things I think is kind of unique they do is they've done it twice now. They've sent out notification that if you would like to participate in it, they're looking for people to come down to the distillery and help do a barrel pick. Now, this is, as far as I know, they've done it twice now. And of course, like many other people, I've put my name into the hat. I've yet to get pulled, and that's okay. You can't always be a winner. But the last time they did this, they picked a bourbon, and so this time my understanding was there was a split decision, and there was 6 people that were selected to go down there, and so three of the individuals picked a bourbon and 3 picked a rye, and so I kind of laughed when I read this online, because this is something we learned in the Army a long time ago, that when you do we would do soldier promotion boards, or soldier of the month board, or soldier of the year, just any kind of soldier competition boards. You always wanted an odd number of people on the board. That way you would never have a split decision. And so when I read this, and they even come to the conclusion that they can't do it again, which works out in everybody's favor. The next time they do it, they're going to pick 7 people. But anyway, so the individuals who were selected this last time, have unpicked a bourbon and have picked a rye. And then I believe they went back and they all made a decision the rye was better than the bourbon. And so I went down there today with my wife, and it was I got down there about 9 o'clock. Now, they opened the distillery at about 10 and started handing out bottles. Now, once again, from reading the newsletter, I knew that they were going to have, I believe they had 180 bottles that they had gotten out of that particular barrel. I wasn't really concerned whether I was going to get a bottle or not. I knew that there was probably no chance I wasn't not going to get a bottle down there today. So me and my wife went down there, and we got in line. And, once again, I made this comment in a former video that I've been to, Kentucky, and I've been to distilleries up there, and I've seen how they do some of their distribution, some of their allocated bourbons at their distilleries. Heaven Hill, I think, does a phenomenal job. They're second to none. But, being down here, for this area, I believe 13th Colony does it right. And so we got up there today, and when we got in line, I noticed that some individuals were doing some bottle shares. And now I didn't know any of these individuals. I'd never seen them before, which I was kind of a little surprised I didn't know anybody there today, because I know my local bourbon club, we had been talking about this was going to happen today. And so when I got there, I looked around to see if there was anybody I knew. I knew that Sean, my friend, he was not going to be able to make it. I had really hoped my brother was going to be able to make it, and something came up with him. He wasn't able to come down. And so these individuals, they were doing a bottle share. And so I just was out of curiosity. I wanted to see what bottles they had. So I just kind of walked up there and I was looking over a gentleman's shoulder. I had no thought, other than just I wanted to see what the bottles were. And one of the individuals, and I apologize, I did not get your name. But I just want to send, if you see this video at some point, I want you to know that I was greatly appreciative of what you did for me. One of the gentlemen turned around and he says, "Hey man, if you want to try something, knock yourself out." We don't have any Glencairns, but we've got some plastic glasses there. But hopefully there's some left, and if there is, you're more than welcome to try something. And I was like, "Oh, really? Okay. Well, I appreciate it, man." And so he had a bottle. Some of the bottles I just looked at them. I wasn't really sure what they were because I'd never seen the labels. I didn't even know what they were. And come to find out, they were labels the group had made. And so the guy I was talking to, he goes, "Well, that one right there," he goes, "that's a Bardstown," and I actually put it in a tequila barrel myself and finished it for about 3 weeks. And so I was like, "Oh, well, you got me at Bardstown," and I'm like, "Okay, now you really got my curiosity piqued." And so I tried it, and with although I'm a big fan of finished bourbons, tequila is really not. If I had to rate them, tequila's at the very bottom for me. But very surprisingly, that was a very, very good finished bourbon. It was just enough of the tequila finish that it accentuated the Bardstown, and he had even told me, he says, I can't remember if it was the Weeder or there's the bottled bond. I can't remember which one I used, but so I tried that one, and then I went back up there, and one of them had a 9-year Penelope Estate, and he let me have a sample of that. So once again, I apologize I didn't get your names, but I'm greatly appreciative that you shared with me. So anyway, that was kind of cool. That's the first time I've been there, and people were doing a bottle share. And so anyway, the wife of the owner of 13th Colony, she came out and she started putting armbands on everybody. And I think not knowing anymore, and I knew my guess was she had the number of armbands for the number of bottles she knew she had. So it was just a matter of if you had an armband, you were going to get a bottle of it, no matter where you were in line. And so, she stopped and she talked to me and my wife for a little while, and she had remembered me from coming down there from previous visits. And I just thought that's pretty cool. For me, it's just indicative of the kind of people they are down at 13th Colony, that they remember you from previous times you've been down there. And so me and my wife, we got up there, and so I got a bottle and my wife got a bottle too. But the bottle that they had at this particular one was this one right here. And it's a cask strength rye whiskey. It's an 8-year whiskey, and it's 120 proof, 120.46. And then I thought it was kind of cool. They put a tater sticker on it, the Split Decisions tater sticker. This is the second time I've been down to 13th Colony and got one of their distillery exclusive bottles that actually had a tater sticker on it. So unless I'm mistaken, I think I've gotten every one of the distillery exclusive bottles that they've released. But once again, that's the good thing about being an hour from 13th Colony. The last time they did this, it was a bourbon. That was what the last group pick was, the bourbon, and I've tried that since I went down there that day, and I can just straight up tell you that one was a cola bomb. It was just straight up. It was all indicative of it tasted just like cherry cola to me. So anyway, got the bottles, and I thought that was probably going to be it for the day. And so as I was getting ready to leave, once again, the owner's wife, she told us that my husband is actually around the corner, and he's got something a little special for everybody to sample. And I was like, "Oh, does he now?" And so I walked around the corner, and of course there was her husband. I'd been down there once again. I had been down there before with Sean from Echoes and Eternity Bourbon, and we drank some pours with the owner and spent some time with him. And so I had met him once before, but what he had today was he called it the 113, and it is it's going to be start to be released next month, and it is a 113 proof 13th Colony bourbon finished in maple barrels. Um, wow. I just, I, I mean, I've had maple finished bourbons before, and for the most part, the ones I've had have been very, very, very heavily maple forward. Not. That was not this. This one was just. It was just enough maple that it accentuated the taste of the bourbon, and it was good. It was really good. I believe if I understood him right, he said they were going to release. The initial release is going to be about 12,000 bottles. He said, I want to say he said it would be in the $60 to $70 price range. That one, I think he said. So, I wouldn't, don't quote me on that one. But of course, we all know once this thing hits the shelf, if it stays at the $60 to $70 mark, I'll be very, very surprised. But once again, I'm on the hunt now. So anyway, that was a treat to be able to try that. And the cool thing about it was he was very, very receptive. That, be honest with me, what do you think? Give me feedback on this. And he was very open to what you were saying, people were saying about it. And he told us that although the first initial run is going to be about 12,000 bottles, this is something they're going to want to make a shelf stable product. So anyway, it was a really good day. Went down there, did that. There's a restaurant in Americus, Georgia called Monroe's. They make chili slaw dogs. And I don't know if this is a thing other than in the South, but in the South, people like to eat hot dogs with coleslaw on them. And so Monroe's is kind of my little guilty pleasure. When I go down to 13th Colony, I'm going to go to Monroe's too, and I'm going to get me some chili slaw dogs. And so we did that, and then I came home, and I have a Ross and Squibb barrel in the garage that I had to cut the doors into it today. So I spent the afternoon doing that, and so now I'm up here relaxing in my bourbon room. So all in all, it's been a phenomenal day. And actually, it's been a phenomenal 2 weeks. Last Sunday, Sean, my buddy from Echoes and Eternity Bourbon, he's done this 3 times now, 4 times. I believe 4 times. He's done a bottle share. There's a place here in Columbus, Georgia. It's called the Heritage Center, and it's just a venue that he knows the individuals who own it, and so he does bottle shares down there. And so last Sunday he had one, and I called my little brother, and he came over and spent the night with me. We went up there after we did a little bit of bourbon shopping around town, and it was just a really good time. It amazes me the generosity of people and the bottles they'll bring. A friend of mine, Prentice, he brought this bottle that I had heard about it. I hadn't seen it. It was called Nashtucky 8-year. And so, he had told me that he had bought it online and told me where, and I'd been looking for it. So I immediately got online and found it and bought it. The thing doing the research since that point, I found that Nashtucky made Fred Minnick's top 5 list. The number 2 was the rye, and the number 4 was the bourbon. And so it was just neat to be able to try that. And then another friend of mine, Ramon, came in, and he brought a double oak to Woodford Reserve, and I was like, oh my, that is really, really good. And so anyway, it was just like I said, it's been a great 2 weeks. The bottle share last week, and then of course the 13th Colony event today. Well, once again, I can't say enough about just the way I feel, the way I get treated when I go down 13th Colony. They've always been extremely nice to me. The owner, his wife, Megan and her husband, Brian. They always treat you like family when you go down there, and so I always enjoy going down there. So anyway, I say this before, it's not, individual had made a comment on Sean's video that it's not the bottles you remember, it's the people. But for me, the bottles are a memory for me. And so, the bottles I walked away with today from 13th Colony, they'll be attached to the memory of me going down there and spending time down at 13th Colony Day. So if you've got a bottle of good bourbon, and hopefully you got someone that you care about that you can share it with. And until the next time, thank you for watching this. And if you like what you see, please like and subscribe and hit the bell for further notifications. And I'll see you at the next one.